All right. Um, as I said, I will continuously make videos. Because I understand there'll be a time I won't be able to do this, and so making videos right now is important to me because I know how important testimonies have helped me. How they've just helped me. Period. And now subscribing and seeing people who are involved in this for what they are. But also, I understand that the facade is extremely strong. What you see is really not reality. It's not the people in charge of you being in this program. I hear a lot of target individual talk about how they got involved, it had who they believe put them in the program. For me, there's no doubt, absolutely zero doubt. But they are trying to create doubt because things once you're in it, things happen, and they happen very systematically. You might not know that you're in it, but you might know something's happening around you, right? But in my case, they're trying to go away. In my earlier videos, I showed who put me in this program. There's no doubt. It is absolutely no doubt. Um, I knew something was not right when I started working with my employer. And first, obviously, it's not like, oh, I'm a target individual, but it's more like they don't want me here. I don't feel welcome here. It feels like I'm not somebody who belong in this work environment. Like it felt like slowly became something else, and you could feel that. Okay, it seemed like initially they don't want me here, and they're just trying to make me quit. And then it looks like it then felt like, okay, they looking for something else to try to push me out. And then you feel like, oh no, I'm in something much bigger going on here. Like it just slowly went there. But with me, what they're trying to do is find the most abnormal thing that happened during a time or whatever, and say, oh, this is it. For example, I'm not going to give an exact example, but let's just say that I remember going somewhere and something turns on, and it was just super random, just turns on, and they're like, oh, you see, that was us. And the reason why they do that is because they're trying to move away from the actual source of me being in this program to move it to something else. Because as I said, my employer at the time, the one that put me in this program, are not well. Let's just say that the people doing this to me now try to portray themselves of this facade of feminism, of activism, or and this is the irony of the century because this is a program that torture a lot of women. But these facades have been presented to others before, so there's nothing new there. And we know that the CIA and all these agencies have really pushed that facade too. You hear about this woke, um, this woke agencies, and you hear these people then try to like, oh, we're woke because it's like we're gonna torture you. Like you torture children, you literally suffocate kids, and they try to sound menacing about it. It's like I know what you guys do. And they're like they rape me. Okay, I know you rape women till they kill themselves. What do you like? There's nothing to even try to sound tough about because I know they torture children. They sexually torture children, 3 years old. And you hear this person try to sound menacing. And I understand me saying that. They want to compensate for it. Oh, die. Oh, we're going to torture. Yes, I'm dying. Yes, you're going to try to compensate for the fact that I know and I can bring up the fact that they torture children as young as 3 years old and many other kids, infants. So these people wanted to live this fantasy. Now, like I said, they tried to diverge from reality. My employee put me in this program, so what they're gonna do is like look around. So they're like, oh, remember this thing happened. Your phone turned on. Something happened when this happened. You see, it's us. They try to forget that. Try to make me forget that random things do happen in life, right? Not anymore for me. things happen, and it's just sometimes random, and it's just, and so what they're trying to do is to make me convince me that no, you see that moment, this happened, right? And I was asked trying to what exactly? Because the thing about them is they are very systematic. You know when things happen, you'll know it will continuously happen. You'll still start thinking what is going on around you. And with me, when it started, then I'm like, okay, this is happening. Then you get some weird feelings. Okay, why is this happening? Why is this? And then it becomes intensifies. And this moment that they say that happened where that actually that happened where my phone turned on or something had turned on. It turned on, and that was that. And for years, nothing else happened. Right. Then I started working with my employer. Then this employer started doing things to show me that he was not. He didn't want me to be there, and then you try to get me out. Like, and it all like so. You have to find the patterns. These people create false patterns. They create loops around reality and create these false patterns to try to escape reality. So they're like, oh, we will do something here, wait 2 3 years, and then when you start working at the employer, that's when we start like it's just super forced and manipulated. They try to find what can they create. Now let me just be clear, target individual. They will try to make you believe something that's not true. These people got involved because my employer, which I talked about, put me in this program. I can tell you initially, it feels like starting from 2014, my life changed. My family, even my own family members, everything is just so obvious. It's just like as obvious as ever get. And I'm so thankful to God that, at least for me as a target individual, there is no doubt. There's no doubt when my family started treating me weird. It's no doubt. It was so bad that I brought my family to my work, and she almost passed out because she saw the people responsible. And mind you, this is somebody who is my mother, my father. These people they were involved in my targeting. And I remember when I was like, you know what, let's go to my place to of work, right? And I was off that time, and she felt so uncomfortable there. And it feels like she was mad at me for showing her the people responsible for me being in this program, because she wanted to stick with that fantasy that she created. And and her seeing her my boss who put me in this program, like how he looked. I told you, the people who put me here, especially my boss, he looked like the biggest like villain in all, like creepy beyond creepiness. Like it's just, he looks super creepy, and it's just so obvious that he was involved, and he made it clear to me. He was saying things that like today they're saying. He would look at me, he would say like, "Oh, you enjoy your last meal, huh?" And I would not get it. And they would be like, he'll go in his office, and my coworkers, oh, you should go talk to him. It definitely felt like he was setting things up to put me in this program, and I know he's the one who put me in this program. So they're trying to find, oh, remember your phone? Did you remember that this happened during that time? You see, that's us. That's like 3 years ago. Like they're looking for instant. It's just, oh, there, and that's because they're trying to see anything that's abnormal and say, oh, that happened. They're just trying to drive away from reality that this person put me in this program, but they want this to be where I start thinking, oh, you guys, you know. So, for example, me, I will never forget, and this is why I have this person on my phone, the person who put me in this program. I remember him telling me, and I remember even something that somebody else said, and how he reacted to it. This coworker of mine looked at her, was making some jokes, right? saying, "Oh, I can say that and that." And he looked at her. He's like, "Go ahead, try." Now, at the time, I was looking at it, it's like, "Oh wow," like I didn't think I was like, "Oh wow," he sounded like, "Oh, he would like what will happen? He will sue her or something." But now looking back, I'm like, "Ah, he would say like." When she said that to him, he was like, "Go ahead, try to do this and watch what happen. I will destroy your life. Like, what's gonna happen to this guy?" I know. And he was looking at her, he's like, "Go ahead." He's like, "Oh, go ahead." So I know. And then he was always looking at me, he's like, "Here, okay, oh, you enjoy your meal? Yeah, you enjoy your last meal." He looked at me, he's like, "Yeah." He just looks, and looking back now, it's just as obvious as it gets. It feels so it's just beyond obvious. But they were like, "Oh, but I remember that phone, just this thing happened." And they tried to make me think, "Oh, after this, you see, that's proof that we started there." Then nothing. I went to college, I graduated college, I did then I started working at this place. It's immediately when I got in this place, I was like, "Oh, this is not a place I should be." It felt super uncomfortable. It felt so like, ugh. It's like I don't belong here. I know I don't belong here. I don't feel it. I don't feel. I feel like this is not a place I should be working in every sense. And it's true because the people there were definitely didn't like me initially. Like immediately, they didn't want me to be here. Like I could feel it. They were looking me up and down. Like who is like, and I know to the point now they tried to be like, "Oh no, they hired you when you're already." They're like, "No, I wasn't." But they tried to find ways to make me accept this because even though, one of the example they tried to make me believe, like, remember when you were going up for an interview, somebody turned around and looked at you at the office when there's people working around. I do the same thing where I remember when somebody was coming in an interview, it was new, and now look, I turn around and look. They're so desperate. They're so desperate in every ways to make me accept this thing, to make me accept that, we, they put, I was already, it's not true. I'm sorry. This is the reason why you can't say the name. This is why my parents, my family members start acting bizarrely when I started working there. It started like within the end of 2014, people were like acting weird. My family member, people, like it's just crazy. So I know that moment changed my life when I started working for that company. I'm not gonna say the name of that company. I would never. Let's just say I didn't have a perfect family. We of course had like arguments, but I know that was their norm. Things changed when I started working for this company. Now these people are doing their best to create their fantasy where these people are a group of feminists. And it's so BS. It's so fraudulent. It's so falsified. It's so just out of touch. Like these people, the patterns. These people are so systematic. They're so systematic that I myself can tell what they're gonna do because they do it so systematically. And you start thinking when the thing started not doing, like what happened, like when the things kind of. Now I didn't think that, oh, I'm being followed by people outside. I didn't think of that. This things of like outside of work being followed. No, none of that happened. Like initially, at least I didn't recognize it. It was not at least happening overtly. I was not seeing people following me. But I know when I came to the office, people were acting kind of weird in the sense that like I didn't belong. But it was not like it felt like they wanted me out of. They didn't want to. They didn't want me to work there. Then toward the end, I would say toward 2018, even 2017, that's when I start feeling, okay, is there something outside of work? I'm going to the place, they're acting this way. I'm like things start like act like working like not adding up. People were acting bizarrely. People start. like treat me differently. And it all started like in 2018. So that it became overtly where people outside of work were acting weird in 2018. Now, what they're trying to do is try to find ways to make me accept these things and try to find, oh, but this person was looking at me this way. Oh, this person, I didn't get along with this person. They try to like make me create false connections. But I'm not gonna let them live that fantasy. So let me say this clearly. My targeting started when I started working at this employer. He's the reason why I'm this program. I'm the reason. It's the reason why I'm here. It's the reason why these people around me doing what they're doing. It's the reason why they cannot say the name of this man who used to pick up kids when he was an assistant DA. This is why I'm here. It did not start before that. I was not having any problem. I live life normally. I had people, friends. I was okay with my friends. I had roommates. I had neighbors. I had all of that. Life changed when I started working at my employer. Slowly, things were acting slowly, just became more and more weird. It felt first at work, then it felt like outside of work, and then I quit, and it followed me extremely more. And then I came here, and at that point it was done. But by the time I was, before coming here, the reason why I came to this even, you know, city is because I was trying to escape my employer, thinking that maybe if I come here, that will stop. But it's not. It didn't stop because this is a global thing. This is a thing that follows you everywhere. You hear this nose campaign. This is typical, and they try to make me imagine. My imagination is for them to manipulate. They want me to be like connecting into something else. And it's like nope. Even when I'm back, it's crazy. When I went back um to where I'm from after I started working with my employer, things start happening. Everything started after I started working with my employer. They're the reason why I'm in this program. But they're trying to make me think maybe they started, they just looked at you that no, they put me in this program. These people, these people. And they try to create these different scenarios to try to escape this. It's as clear as it gets. So I want to say this before I get to the point where my brain is so ravaged that I can try to that they can try to make me believe otherwise. My employer, who gave me my first job, basically, is the reason why I'm here. The sole reason why I'm in this program, the sole and only reason I'm in this program that is torturing people all around the world is because my employer, who is very well connected, the vice president of that department, who, oh my gosh, the reason why I'm looking at my phone and never, never forget, put me in this program is because of him. My life prior to working there, of course, not perfect like everybody else, but it was my life. I was living life. I had friends, I had neighbors, I lived life. Life was not orchestrated, it was just life. After starting working for this employer, things changed. Now they're trying to make me imagine what kind of interaction. Why this person was she talking like this? Why was she talking like this? Maybe because you no, no. And I don't have doubts. Zero doubts. Absolutely zero doubts. But they can implant doubts. These people can make you doubt for the most obvious things. So to all my target individual, do not subscribe to anything. These people can clearly look at you like, no, it's you. No, we're money. No, it's no. You're not what they try to make you subscribe to. They're not who they try to portray themselves as. And most importantly, do not believe what they try to make you believe in regard of how you got put in this program. I know some of us have been put just because, randomly, but me it's just as clear as ever. And I knew something was going on. And I knew that they were doing something. And I knew they were trying to make me accept this. And I know that. There's no doubt. So if it comes to the point where I have doubts, I hope that this video reminds me to never have doubts. Remember those conversations with your boss, with your managers, with your all. Remember those because they're the reason why you're here. And these people can say the name of this man that picked up kids in these places where there was kids from YMCA's, malls, high schools, and wherever else while he was an assistant DA. So do not subscribe to this BS. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Know who you are. Do not subscribe to this nonsensicalness. And as fading away, I guess, they keep telling me all the horrible things they're gonna do, and I know they want to compensate. These people. Can you imagine if you're trying to portray yourself as this group of people who wants to avenge for what you've done, and you open up you see the testimonies of all these horrible things they do. I mean, sexual torture to the point they can't walk, torturing women and children, torturing pregnant women to the point where they lose their child. Like it's just the level of cruelty they have toward the most vulnerable people is unbelievable. But it's done by the most everyday people doing it in the most cowardly way, sitting in their couches somewhere, trying to play whatever, torturing these people. Cowardness beyond nth degree. What do you expect? Me keep doing it. I will not stop them. I will not stop. I will not stop. The bringing up reality till my last breath. I mean, I'm so thankful that I did not have to live my life doing what they do, try to cover reality. That's all they try to do. They create this false reality in so many levels. That's why I make these videos because I want to go back to all the different reality they've tried to paint to escape from reality. They're trash. They're cowards. They're bottom feeders. They're not monsters. They're just nothing but trash that do horrible things to people, but trash, like trash and cowards. So as for me, they're like I can feel all the extreme like cranking up of the radiation because they hate me having this conversation and they want to make it up. It's like no, now you pay for it. It's like, can you imagine somebody who's in a program that's killing kids and women? Just to say that to you. No, there's something beyond nothings. So stay strong. Never subscribe to this. Thank you.